Have you ever felt like your mind was drifting, swept along by what you see, hear, or think? All it takes to shatter your calm is an image on the screen, a noise out on the street, or an unexpected comment. Imagine your mind as a walled city with 6 gates: sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and the mind itself. Each connects to the outside world, but each is also a vulnerable point. If the guardian of those gates gets distracted, unnecessary noises, hurtful images, or poisonous thoughts slip in, leaving the mind scattered, restless, and weary, like an undefended city. That's why today I want to show you how you can learn to guard those gateways. Not to live in isolation, but to choose wisely what you let in and how you receive it. You'll discover that by caring for your senses, you also safeguard your inner freedom. And at the end, I'll share a practical, simple, and quick guide that you can apply in any situation. A gesture that's invisible on the outside but profound on the inside. To care for your mind like the treasure it truly is. If you can, take some notes or save this video to come back to whenever you need it. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so we can keep growing together every week. Let's get to it. 1. The absent-minded guardian. When the gatekeeper of our inner world gets distracted, anything can slip in. An unexpected noise, a phone notification, or a repetitive thought gets a free pass to take up residence in our minds. And when such things enter unchecked, they hijack our attention and steal our peace of mind. Imagine you wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone notifications. Before you know it, you're already reading messages, emails, or news that spark worry or urgency. Your day begins with your mind hijacked by external stimuli instead of grounded in inner clarity. Buddhist teaching speaks of guarding the gates of the senses, meaning not letting everything in without awareness. Just as a vigilant guard distinguishes between a dangerous visitor and a friendly one, you too can watch what comes in through your eyes, ears, or mind. It's not about shutting yourself away, but about consciously choosing what you allow in. To put this into practice, the next time you open your eyes in the morning, remember to wait a minute before checking your phone or turning on the TV. Just notice the first sensory impression of your day, the light, the silence, your breath. That 1 minute of watchfulness already makes the difference between starting out scattered and starting out present. When you notice distractions sweeping you away, try naming it under your breath. Now I'm in a rush. Now there's noise. Now there's an urge to check my phone. Naming it brings you back to the present and switches off autopilot. And remember to close small gaps throughout the day. Whether it's constant background music, intrusive notifications, or non-stop multitasking, it drains the guardian's energy. Fewer open inputs mean greater inner stability. 2. The Disguised Thieves. Not everything that enters the city within seems harmful at first. Sometimes a neutral gesture, an ambiguous word, or a casual glance slips in, and our minds start to dwell on it. What seemed harmless turns into suspicion, worry, or anger. Imagine, for example, that you get to work and someone doesn't say hello. The act itself is minor, but the mind starts making up stories. They're mad at me, they're ignoring me, I did something wrong. And just like that, something neutral turns into a burden we carry all day. The Buddha taught that this process is called mental proliferation. From a small stimulus, an entire chain of thoughts is set in motion that ensnares us. The distracted guard fails to recognize the thief in disguise and lets them in without resistance. Guarding the gates is learning to see experience as it is without adding unnecessary layers. Here's a brief exercise. The next time you notice that a comment or a look raises your suspicions, describe it as objectively as possible. There was a remark. There was a gesture. There was a silence. By separating the fact from the story, you unmask the thief and keep it from robbing you of your peace. You can also use the fact versus hypothesis method. On one line, write the verifiable fact. Below it, the hypothesis your mind comes up with, and end with a question. What other explanation could there be? After 3 breaths, choose the kindest, most realistic answer. If you need a quick reality check, ask for a light check-in. A respectful, "Everything okay?" breaks the chain of assumptions. Most of the time it's nothing, and the thief vanishes on contact with reality. And if you notice that the mental story keeps coming back, return to your senses. Feel the soles of your feet, the temperature in your hands, and the most distant sound you can hear. For the body brings the guard back to his post. 3. The door was wide open. When a city leaves all its gates open, anyone can enter without restriction. Something similar happens to our mind when we expose ourselves to too many stimuli without restraint. Sensory overload leaves us vulnerable, exhausted, and more prone to react without clear thinking. Imagine spending the night watching one negative news story after another. After a while, your body is tense, your mind is filled with harsh images, and it's hard to fall asleep. It's not just the information, it's the sheer volume that overwhelms your inner gatekeeper and leaves it exhausted. Buddhist training teaches that guarding the senses includes setting limits on your exposure, not out of rejection, but out of care. Just as you wouldn't leave your front door open all day, it isn't wise to let everything the world offers in without a filter. Mindful selection is a form of mental hygiene. To that end, try this brief practice. Choose a time of day for a short sensory fast. It could be half an hour without looking at your phone, without TV, or without background music. Notice how your mind feels when it gets a break from stimulation, and realize that calm is also cultivated by what you choose not to let in. You can also follow the one screen at a time rule. Don't check your phone while you're watching a show or reply to emails while you're listening to a podcast. The fewer the stimuli, the calmer and clearer you'll feel. 4. The wise guardian. A good guardian doesn't live in fear or seal the city off completely. They can discern what nourishes and what harms, and act with clarity rather than paranoia. Guarding the mind doesn't mean rejecting the world. It means learning to relate to it wisely. Imagine you're listening to a song you love. If you let it play on autopilot, it might blend with your worries and end up fueling nostalgia or sadness. But if you listen with mindful attention, it becomes a moment of presence and enjoyment. The Buddha taught that the senses should not be suppressed but trained. That means training sight, hearing, and the mind to receive whatever arises without being swept away. The wise gatekeeper does not close the doors. They simply remain attentive to what comes in. Let's try a brief practice. The next time a strong stimulus arises, an image, a sound, or a thought, pause and take 3 deep breaths before reacting. Notice how your response changes when you give it space. That simple act turns automatic reaction into conscious clarity. You can also use the triple sensory anchor. Look at a specific detail, texture, color. Listen to an actual sound and feel a spot on your body, your hands, the soles of your feet. 3 anchors, 3 doors covered, and a watchful guardian. Today, we've gone through 4 ways of understanding the inner guardian together. First, we looked at the distracted guardian, who lets anything through and starts the day with a mind hijacked by stimuli. Later, we uncover the thieves in disguise, the neutral gestures that turn into storms when the mind makes up stories about them. We also see what happens with the door wide open when we expose ourselves to everything without restraint and end up overwhelmed and exhausted. And at last, we met the wise guardian, who lives neither in fear nor in confinement, but learns to meet each stimulus with attentiveness and balance. The essential teaching is this: guarding the senses doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world. It means clearly choosing what you let in and how you receive it. That way, your mind stops being a city overrun by noise and becomes a space of calm and freedom. An attentive guardian doesn't need to fight, only to be present and clear-minded. To wrap up, I want to give you a simple guide you can use at any time of day. It consists of 3 brief steps that turn the guardian of your mind into a present and awake ally. Clarity comes from repetition. The same 3 moves every time, easy to remember and put into practice. First step, recognize which door got activated. Ask yourself whether what unsettled you came from something you saw, something you heard, or a thought that arose in your mind. That initial clarity helps you avoid getting lost in the confusion. Second step, label the stimulus objectively. Instead of letting the mind make up stories, describe it neutrally. There was a sound, there was a phrase, there was an image. That way, what was a trigger remains a simple fact without turning into a storm. Step 3, take 3 deep breaths before reacting. Inhale calmly, exhale, letting go of tension, and return to the present. This simple act, just a few seconds long, shifts your inner state and gives you space to choose how to respond. Let's look at an example. Imagine you get a message on your phone with an unexpected criticism. First, you notice that what got triggered was your mind as you read those words. Then you label it in a neutral way. There was a message with a critical comment. And finally, you take 3 deep breaths, allowing the tension to dissolve before deciding how to respond. Here's how this guide works. 3 simple steps that, repeated again and again, strengthen the inner guardian. Little by little, you'll discover that you don't need to react immediately to everything that comes in, and that the city within can remain calm, even amid the world's noise. We've reached the end of this journey, and now I invite you to pause. Look within and ask yourself, how is my inner guardian at this moment? Attentive, distracted, overwhelmed, or already a bit more aware after what we've shared? Just asking yourself this already awakens the watchfulness we need to cultivate every day. Guarding your sense doors doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world, but learning to live with clarity. It means letting in what nourishes, avoiding what poisons, and turning every encounter into an opportunity to be present. It's like training a muscle. Each time you practice, your mind grows stronger and steadier in the face of external stimuli. And that's it. Now I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which sense door do you feel you need to protect most this week? Maybe sight, because you spend too much time in front of screens. Maybe hearing, because you're surrounded by conversations that drain you. Or maybe your mind, because repetitive thoughts take up more space than you'd like. Your answer could inspire others who are on the same path. If this video helped you, save it so you can listen again whenever you need to. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the upcoming episodes, where we'll keep exploring together how to take care of your mind and live more calmly. And if you know someone who feels overwhelmed by the noise of the world, share it with them. This guide might be just what helps them regain clarity. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for walking with me this far and for giving yourself this time to practice. Remember, freedom doesn't begin outside. It begins in how you stand guard, moment by moment, at the gates of your own mind. That's the true treasure no one can take away from you.